Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the reunion of Final Fantasy VII Remake podcast. I am your host, Kai, and joining me again today is my incredible co-host, Vyzz. How are you doing, Vyzz?
Hello, Kai, and hello, everyone. I'm doing pretty good. Intermission is done. It's awesome, and I feel good. How about you?
I am also feeling the same way as you. I'm super happy with intermission so far. I'm not done yet, but we are going to be talking a little bit about that in this episode. But yeah, I'm super excited to actually sit down and have the opportunity to kind of talk to you about this incredible DLC that we got. And I don't know, I'm just so excited. There are no other words to describe it.
I agree.
All right, guys. So the best way to support us here is to like, sub, and share the podcast. Hop on over to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so yet, and make sure you subscribe there. And also, you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you listen to your podcasts, because we're on all of them. All right, Viz. So what's been going on over at Cosmo Canyon Observatory?
Lately, not so much because I had to take a break a little and just focus on one work, which is the game analysis number 26, which is how to remake the future, and it's with this new 10-part analysis regarding mostly Sephiroth, but also Cloud's memory glitches and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing will be released afterwards, like over 3 hours. So it will probably last for. That's why we split it up into 10 digestible chunks, and also because
Mm-hmm.
our editor Rimovel will strangle me if I told her, "Hey, here, 3 hours or 3.5 hours of editing to do.
Oh my
Go."
gosh.
Nope, not happening. So yeah, the first one is out. The second one should be out very soon, like in a following weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's, I hope, 1 to 2 weeks in between, depending on the workload of Frimoel, because she's also sometimes editing Pulse of the live
I
stream stuff
know.
and the interviews. So she's got a lot of work to do. But we pay her, so it's fine.
Shout out to Rima. I'm also putting her to
Yes.
work,
Yeah.
and she does an incredible job making our podcast thumbnails and all sorts of different things. So, yeah, I understand. We're keeping her busy. Let's just say that.
Yo, definitely. For sure. Yeah, that's about it. I try to pick up this with the CCO gems, like those short Twitter
Mhm.
posts, short analyses, or little Easter eggs I found. But yeah, I just need to get into things again, into the rhythm. And I also started a new job around 2 weeks ago, so this is
Oh yeah.
also taking a lot of time and energy. So I just need to get settled in there,
Mhm.
and then I hope it's back to normal business soon here on the CCO.
Mhm. Well, that's great. It sounds like you have some great content in store for
Hmm.
everybody. So if you guys haven't yet, hop on over to Cosmo Canyon Observatory YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and share, and definitely watch all of their incredible content. It is amazing. All right, guys. So today we are going to be giving our spoiler-free first impressions on the recently released episode intermission DLC for Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, and we will also be discussing the news from Summer Games Fest, Square Enix Presents, and also Square Enix E3 press conference. So I think those are actually interchangeable. So first off, here we are going to touch on Summer's Games Fest. So it has happened, and we did not get anything Final Fantasy related. I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. I just don't feel like Summer's Game Fest is the place where they're going to be revealing Final Fantasy, like especially Final Fantasy 16 details. I feel like it's probably going to be at a PlayStation State of Play event or something like that, because it's exclusive to PlayStation, and I just feel something in me just tells me it's going to be later in the year, and it's going to be at an actual Sony press conference at least. I don't know what you think about that, Viz, but anyway, I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, kind of same here. I was hoping for the rumors to be true, but I
Hmm.
wasn't holding my breath. especially Summer Games Fest. I personally didn't watch it. I had other things to do. For example,
Yeah.
playing Intermission.
Mhm.
Because
I hear you.
it took a lot of time to do the side stuff, and I'm so thorough. I talk to every NPC, I listen to every NPC
Yeah.
all the time, and I it took quite a while for me, like maybe double
Yeah.
the normal playthrough time. I won't say how much, in case somebody who doesn't want
Mhm.
to know.
Yeah.
Um, so from that, I was busy, but I didn't hear much anyway from others, so it wasn't probably anything too exciting, at least in our area of interest.
Yeah.
But other things, if people were um, interested in some other games, I'm pretty sure they were happy to hear about some news. I've seen you
Yeah,
wrote down some Death
absolutely.
Stranding director's cut, Elden Ring. There are a lot of people looking forward to that game. Overwatch 2 is
Yeah.
also a favorite of many. Metal Slug Tactics
Mhm.
sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's like a Final Fantasy
Yeah.
Tactics mixed with Octopath Traveler. So it's
Oh,
kind of like this
cool.
2D, 3D, I don't even know what would you call that, like fusion environment. So
Probably, yeah.
it looks super awesome actually. I'm really excited to see what that game is and how it plays. I think I might pick it up actually when it releases. So
Hmm.
and like you said, Overwatch 2, absolutely. BlizzCon line happened, so we did get a look at Overwatch 2. And also, like you said, Elden Ring. I'm super excited actually for Elden Ring. It sounds just like totally up my alley. It's kind of like we've got George R. R. Martin mixed with From Software. So like I just see these two things being kind of like just a match made in heaven, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I mean, who knows, right? I don't know like what we'll end up getting, but it seems like it's super interesting. We did get a gameplay trailer, and the gameplay does look pretty incredible.
Oh,
So
nice. Yeah.
can't wait to see more from Elden Ring. And but I didn't actually watch Summer's Game Fest. I was too busy, like you said. I was busy playing episode Intermission, and just also I kind of went back just to see the upgrades to Intergrade as
Right.
well
Yeah.
before I actually started playing, just to check it out. And also with everything else I had to do for my work outside of the podcast, I just did not have time to watch the Summer Games Fest like actual
Mm.
presentation. But these are the big games that were outlined, I guess, from Summer Games Fest. And so next up, we are talking about the Square Enix Presents event. So I'm assuming that this is, from what I could find, it was actually their E3 press conference, but they also did a SE Presents events like live stream. So what was announced was Life is Strange True Colors. I guess there was already an announcement about that, but they had shown more of that game. Life is Strange Remastered collection. We got a new game called Babylon's Fall.
Hmm.
That was kind of shown off. It looks super interesting as well. We had Avengers Black Panther expansion that's coming to the Avengers Square Enix game. Near Reincarnation, which was announced, it's a mobile game coming out in the Near universe. War of the Visions Brave Exvius, which was shown as well, and Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins. So obviously this is kind of a lot to unpack here. I did watch the video after the fact a little bit, and I did catch a little bit of the Guardians of the Galaxy actually, which was revealed. So
Hmm.
to me, it looks like they did a pretty good job. I'm just waiting to see what this is going to turn into. But it looked super fun and it looked interesting, and they kept the humor from the original, like the movies, in there. The characters seem really well done. I thought the graphical fidelity was really good as well. There were some frame rate drops in the more busy kind of combat situation where they had things exploding and different things like that. But obviously, this isn't the finished version of the game, so they still have some optimizing to do. But it looked pretty interesting to me.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I like Guardians of the Galaxy anyway. I like the
Hmm.
characters, their dynamic,
Yeah.
and the banter and stuff, and they really captured it. At least what I've known from, or what I've seen in the movies. I didn't read the
Yes.
comics, so I only know the movies.
Hmm.
I think they captured everything pretty well. Some characters look quite different, but I suppose they look closer
Hmm.
to their original comic versions, which is probably good.
Yeah.
Looks good, looks interesting. Also, I think they kind of um, checked out Final Fantasy VII Remake and thought, "Oh, this looks good. This is interesting, and let's take it for our battle system." Because when you give commands, it slows down, and I think I saw some stagger
Oh,
meter of
okay.
sorts. So maybe they
Oh,
took
cool.
some pages off the book
Interesting.
from Remake or something. It's Square Enix published, so maybe there was some exchange going on behind the scenes. Who knows? But
Interesting.
it's a single player game, which I'm really happy about. So maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy about that as well. That's like the Avengers game. It's sort of like a single player game, but also it does have like it was meant to be more of like an online,
Live service, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, like a live service, exactly. But I do like more one player game experiences or co-op games
Yeah. Same.
that I can play online with other people. Absolutely. We did get a Final Fantasy 1 to 6 reveal. They're getting new versions called Pixel Remaster versions. Not much info on that or explanation onto what those are. I don't know if it's just they're getting a pixel refresh, so it's kind of like updating them. Are they going to be released as kind of like the Octopath Traveler versions, where it's kind of like this fusion of 2D and 3D environments? Mixed with like traditional, obviously turn-based combat that it's like the series is known for. I don't know, but I'm excited all the same. I hope that it is updated a little bit. That gives you that depth perception there, because I think that Octopath Traveler really did a good job of making you feel like it's kind of a 3D environment, but you're controlling 2D sprites
Mm.
when you're attacking and stuff. I thought it was fresh and new, and I loved that style of Octopath Traveler. So I would be super excited actually if that's what this ends up being. It might not be. It might just be like an update of the original games, which is also fine. But honestly, there wasn't that much information given.
None actually. It's just Pixel Remaster, and they've shown graphics from the old ones
Mhm.
and showed the logos, but nothing more. It's
Yeah.
just here's something we're working on. Get excited.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't trust you anything about remastering a pixel stuff, because those they did in the past, some of them were terrible, either looked terrible, had
Yes.
technical problems, or other stuff. And I just want to see what it's actually about. See actual
Same here.
gameplay, or at least excerpts of it, screenshots, what have you, before I get excited about anything. Because in that
Mhm.
department, I have zero expectations and zero trusts right now.
Yeah, I know there's been some kind of divide in the community there, especially with the upgrades, quote unquote, of the remastered
Yeah.
versions of the older games. I've also know, like, I've heard about that, how they've broken
Mm.
things, or it just doesn't look that great, or the sprites don't even look anything similar to what the characters look like in the original game. So people were like, why did they do this? And I guess we'll find out. Hopefully, we'll get more information about this soon. This was kind of leaked previously because in the App Store, they actually changed the title of the other
Oh.
games to like they put 3D version in brackets around like the 3D versions of these games that they remade, I guess, like 3 and 4
Oh, I see. Yeah.
before they revealed these. So I guess they're trying to help differentiate
Mm.
the different versions that are going to be available to the consumer,
Yeah.
right? So people aren't confused that when they buy, Final Fantasy 3, it's not pixel remaster that they thought it was going to be, it's like a 3D version. But yeah, anyways, we'll see what happens. I am intrigued. Let's just say that.
Yeah. I just hope for the best, but I'll just wait.
Yeah. All right, guys. So moving on here, we are talking about Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins. So there was a leak previously about a Final Fantasy game called Final Fantasy Origins. It was a leak that was, I think, on Reddit or 4chan. Somebody was posting on there about this game, and it's kind of like a Souls-like game, but in the Final Fantasy universe. So people's kind of imaginations went wild, and everybody was thinking, "Oh my god, like this sounds amazing." Maybe it's like they're redoing like Final Fantasy 1 with like a new graphical engine, like it's 3D and it's the same characters from 1, and it's going to be like a Souls like kind of game. And I guess this is what we got, Stranger of Paradise. Um there was a short trailer. I watched it. I honestly I don't know how I felt about it. I thought that it looked cool, but I felt like the protagonist kind of looks like they don't fit into this
Yeah.
world based on their styling or how they look, but I don't I don't know what the end result is going to be. I don't know what their vision is. I don't know anything else other than what they showed in this trailer, which has kind of turned into a meme now because literally all he says in the whole trailer is, "I want to defeat
Yeah.
chaos and fight chaos," like about 5 times, which is, I mean, if this is what they wanted to kind of make it go viral and become a meme, then you know what? Mission accomplished, Square Enix. But I don't know. I don't know what to think. I think that it looks cool. I think the graphics look good. It's still, for to me, it looks a little rough. I think it's still far off. I don't think that they're that close to actually finishing development yet on this game. Yeah, so to me, I think it's a little bit early in development. I don't know if they should have shown us yet. I don't know what you think. I think that it looks cool. I'm just reserving my judgments and comments because I don't want to I don't want to be like inherently negative when I don't know what exactly this is and I don't know what the finished product is going to be. I'm interested in it and I'm open to there being Final Fantasy spin-off games that for PS5. I mean, for me it's incredible that we're getting all of these Final Fantasy games in the universe, and I'm open to playing them, depending on what what it ends up being. I just don't know right now if it was ready enough to be shown. I don't know. Anyways, it feels a little bit like it was thrown together, the trailer, but I mean it's too early to tell what it is. But anyway,
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to tell. I've watched it once, and my impression was, yeah, the battle system looks cool. Kind of a mixture between Dark Souls and Devil May Cry, I guess, or something like that.
mm-hmm.
Just visceral combat with combos and stuff and huge swords. Uh, but other than that, people make fun of the character designs. It's like Cor Leonis from Final Fantasy 15 meeting
Yeah, I saw that.
Prompto with red hair, meeting
Mm-hmm.
Kyros from Final Fantasy 8, bulked up.
Yeah,
So I don't know, but they also don't really seem to fit the world of Final Fantasy 1. At least that's how I felt they wanted to present it, because Garland
yeah.
is there, who is possessed by chaos or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, Garland's from Final Fantasy 1 for the people who don't
yeah,
know
exactly.
the old school Final Fantasies.
Yeah. So hard to give a verdict
Mhm.
because the trailer felt weird a little bit.
I just felt like he didn't fit into the world because of the way that he was like styled.
Yeah.
Like he looked more kind of modern. Like he looked kind of to me like he's from Final Fantasy
Yeah,
15.
exactly.
Like that world. I don't know about anybody else. Obviously, yes, there's similarities to Core, like his character design, his face and his hair
Yeah.
especially. But I got a like Devil May Cry vibe from
A little
this
bit, yeah, definitely.
for the stylistic kind of
Mhm.
fighting,
Mhm.
more like faster, action oriented kind of, and just the way that his styling was as well, but not as far as DMC. Like I didn't feel like it was as crazy.
Yeah, that's why I thought the mixture between Dark Souls and Devil May Cry,
Hmm.
because Dark Souls is a little bit. I think it feels heavier. I only played Bloodborne so far, but I've seen footage and others play Dark Souls, like 3 and
Yes.
2 or so. and it feels more heavier, more precise, and less hack and
Hmm.
slashy. This is this Final Fantasy Origins title seems to thread the line between both. It seems, at least at first glance.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but that's how I felt it was. I also not quite sure about the format. Isn't it like some co-op multiplayer service-based game or something? I don't think it's just pure.
Oh, is it?
I'm not quite sure, but there was.
Did you read that or see that? I don't think I read that.
I'm not quite sure either. I think, or maybe people were thinking like that, or it said it in a trailer or something. I'm not quite sure,
Hmm.
but there's also a beta out since yesterday, and they have a lot of problems right now apparently. So people talk about downloading it and then the files are corrupted, like the game downloaded demo or beta, whatever,
Yeah.
is corrupted and doesn't work, and it's choppy if you get in, and problems everywhere, and I don't know.
I downloaded the demo, but I haven't opened it
I
yet.
see.
Like I downloaded it on my PS5 from my PS app on my
Yep.
phone so that it would be there, but I just read that when you try to open it, it says that the data is
Yeah.
corrupted, so it's not currently working.
Mm.
So anyway, I will check it out. Absolutely. Just to see.
I guess chaos got to it and now it's corrupted. You first need to kill chaos.
Oh my god. Imagine.
Yeah. I
Wow,
think that's
that's
that's meta
funny.
joke. We all are Czech and want to kill chaos who corrupted the game.
Oh my god.
Oh well.
So I don't know. I'm interested to see what this turns into. I would be actually okay with an online co-op like multiplayer game and each person controls one of the characters
Mm.
in the party. I would be okay with that. I mean, let's go. I'll group up with you and group up with other people, like, CCO members or whatever.
Sure.
If we all can play this together, why not? But not to the, capacity of Final Fantasy
No,
14.
no.
You know what I mean? Like it's too much for me. I would be okay with like a, action adventure, like JRPG, co-ops, multiplayer online, kind of like this, where we go through the story together and
Mm.
each of us control a different character. Yeah, let's do it. I'm good with that. I would be open to it. Absolutely.
If it's really something like that, I could totally be wrong, but I have something like that in
Yeah.
my mind. Maybe I mistake it or have it confused with Babylon's Fall, because that one is like
Oh
a
yeah.
service, lifetime service
Hmm.
game, however you call it, and I think 4 player
Yeah,
or
game as a
something. Game as a
service or
service, yeah,
whatever.
4 player thing. So yeah, I hope I'm wrong. I kind of hope that it's a single player game, just because I prefer that. But if it's something else, yeah, let's just see how it turns
Yeah,
out. Wasn't there a release year like 2022 or something?
I think they said
Yeah.
2022. Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
later this year there will be more info, so maybe
Hmm.
on Tokyo Game Show or something like that,
Absolutely.
or at a State of Play, maybe. If it's also PlayStation exclusive. I don't think it said anything, or did it? I don't remember.
Well, we do have a comment here from Nomura that I'm going to
Oh, I
read.
see.
So
Right,
here's
right.
what he said. He said, "Thank you so much, Audrey, for translating this, by the
Yep.
way." So he said, "I thought to myself that I wanted to have a game focused not on character battles, but on locations where actions take place. After some time had passed, I started planning a new Final Fantasy with the themes of a story of an angry man. More time passed, and I was able to combine both separate concepts into one cohesive plan, which is what you see now. Even though this is a Final Fantasy game, it doesn't feel like one. However, the blood of Final Fantasy runs thick with this game, even so. It was quite a difficult compromise, which led to challenges for this austere title. While it may take some time before the game is complete, the battle system is heavily linked to the story that incorporates a lot of bloodshed, and I hope you will give it a shot." So, lots of information to unpack there.
Mm.
A few red flags for me. So, just because you thought of two separate things that don't make sense doesn't mean that they would work together if you just threw them together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he kind of just like shot himself in the foot with his first sentence that he says, basically. Like, I started planning and then I just decided that I was going to put both of those together. So not focus on character battles, but on the locations where the battles take place. And then having a story of an angry man. Okay. So there's no, what's the motivation? Why are they angry? Hopefully we get some backstory of this character and it's just not like, oh, this is a bad guy. You should fight him, you know?
I want to defeat chaos.
Somebody was like, Final Fantasy, or Nomura has created God of War, which is Final. It's like this game is basically God of War.
Yeah.
The first two or first three, like there is backstory there, but essentially it's just Kratos is just mad.
He's mad and he's killing gods. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and you're like, why is he so mad? Like, what, brah, what's going on, brah? You want to have a heart to heart.
Yeah, just some family bickering. I don't know. Family problems.
Anyway, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I saw something online. Actually, it was on Audrey's Twitter feed that I was reading, and she wrote isekai. So she was thinking it's an isekai, which is super interesting to me. Which is potentially, it is when you have somebody transported to another world who ends up being the protagonist, but they're not traditionally from this world. So they might have been transported to this world and they themselves are the hero or the savior or whatever.
I see, yeah.
And it could be the stories following them, whether they have taken over the body of this person that is in this world, but it's not the person that's there as them is not, that's not who they are. Like they're transported to another world, basically. And I'm like, ooh, that sounds interesting. And might explain why he doesn't look like he belongs in the world.
Definitely was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, and then other people were saying the same thing with the other two characters. And then somebody was saying potentially there could be a character creator where you actually model your Final Fantasy character like the way that you want.
That would be neat.
More like Skyrim.
All right, that's true as well.
Like Skyrim and those types of games have character creators in them that are quite good. So I feel like that would be cool. That would be cool. And that could be the reason why this character is not, doesn't look traditionally like how a character might look in Final Fantasy 1. But potentially maybe this story is happening in the universe of Final Fantasy 1, which is why we've got Garland, you know, but it's an isekai. So it's like you as a character you create this character and then your character is transported to this world and you are essentially a hero and you're going through this story, but you're not from this world.
What if those three just represent actual players who back then played this Final Fantasy, but then are transported into the world and are just so angry at something that Chaos has done it again? I don't know. So weird.
Yeah. But that kind of sounds to me, I'm like, that sounds super interesting and could explain a few things.
Yeah.
But it could be also we're wrong and it's nothing to do with that and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Just some random fever dream.
It doesn't mean that things need to make sense. Let's be honest. Well, that was a lot about Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. Moving on. So let's talk about our episode intermission spoiler-free first impressions. So we're going to talk completely spoiler-free right now until we get to a certain point. And then we're not going to talk about story spoilers, but we might go into things that you might not have experienced yet if you aren't up to a certain point in episode intermission, or obviously if you haven't played it at all. So we'll give you a warning so then you don't actually have to listen to that at all. You can just stop the episode there. We aren't talking about any story spoilers at all. We're not going into any detail about story spoilers. It's a spoiler-free episode. We're giving our first impressions, but we are going to talk about certain things that, you know, between characters or something like that you might not have experienced yet if you haven't played it. So if you don't care about those things, then you can continue to listen. But if you don't want to hear anything and you want to go into episode intermission like completely, you know, fresh, not having heard anything, then you should stop listening after that. So I'll tell you what. So here are my complete spoiler-free first impressions. So I'm loving it so far. Actually really happy with what they've done. Actually, the gameplay is a lot of fun for me. It's fast, fluid, it's engaging. I feel like Yuffie is powerful, but I feel like she's not so powerful where you feel like you're overpowered and everything is an entire breeze and it's just like you're just sailing through this, battles and stuff. Like it has kind of forced me to learn the battle system, which is what I like and I appreciate that. At the beginning, I was actually kind of confused on how to use the elemental ninjutsu abilities. I didn't know how they worked. And then I realized after that, it's in the commands menu, obviously.
Yep.
So it's like a spell, you have to actually cast it. So then I was like, well, what is it using if you don't use that? Is it just using the default magic stat? Or what is it using? Like if you're just attacking without using the elemental ninjutsu, do you know? Is it just like your physical stat or your magic stat?
I think it's just normal magical ability or a magical attack. Because if you attack something that's immune to magical attacks, then it will just say immune. But if you then
Oh,
use
okay.
your shuriken for normal close quarters combat, then it deals damage. So it's definitely physical and magical attack switch between. If you throw your shuriken, you start your chi attack or ninjutsu attacks.
Oh, really?
Then those are magical, and those you imbue with an element. So you use
Okay.
fire ninjutsu, and then this little square or icon appears or changes to a fire emblem. And then I think maybe for a minute or two, you have fire ninjutsu active. So you can throw a shuriken and then attack from afar with fire. And it is really very strong if you hit the enemy's weakness. It's, I think, almost a little bit overpowered because there were like those middle
Mm-hmm.
middle enemies, like this half giant enemies, for example, the size
Right.
of sweepers or cutters, like those
Yeah.
sort of kind of mini bosses. There's one battle, and they were so easy when you exploit
Mm.
the weakness. It's really easy, I
Yeah.
think. But not every enemy is like this, so you just have to stay on your toes. Still,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. And learn and adapt,
yep,
right? Like
definitely.
that's what happened to me. I had to learn and adapt because I had one of the beasts, like I don't know what it was, I forget now, but it like if you attack it with physical attacks, it will just grab your throat or jump on top of you
Oh
and
yeah,
attack
right.
you. So
Yeah.
then I was like, oh God, I keep forgetting. And then I
Mm.
was forced to switch and use more magic abilities. So but yeah, I'm super impressed with the battle system so far and I'm enjoying it. I do feel like the elemental ninjutsu is kind of making the materia redundant.
The elemental materia.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm not using magic on Yuffie. I'm not using magic materia. Like I'm not using
Same.
fire. I'm not using wind. I'm not using those because why would I?
Mm.
It doesn't make any sense. So I think I have fire equipped, but like I haven't even been using it. And also the cast time is really high.
Mm.
It takes a long time for her to cast it, the cast animation. So I just haven't been using it, honestly. But that's okay. It forces me to use the ninjutsu. I'm fine with that.
Definitely.
It kind of, like I said, makes the materia a little redundant.
Well, you could use it with Sonon because he doesn't have the
Yeah,
elemental ninjutsu.
exactly. Exactly. Um, so yeah, and I'm really engaged in like giving Yuffie commands. Sometimes I actually forget that Sonen's there and I get to
Yeah.
use him to do other things. So then I'm like, oh crap, yeah, I can issue him commands as well as, like the synergized
Mm.
attacks,
Mhm.
which also I love, but I also keep forgetting to use those.
I sometimes do as well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I have to be like, I think I'm so focused on controlling Yuffie and trying to get in
Yeah.
there and actually like physically attack and then jump back and use magic and use everything, like her whole toolkit. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta get Sonnen to do other things other than just like heal me or use other magic abilities or whatever, just to get this synergistic like attacks and stuff.
Mm.
But I think It's been great. I'm actually really loving the battle system.
And
Absolutely.
it's really well balanced. For example, the synergized attacks.
Hmm.
I think they revealed that in the latest article, um, shortly after the final trailer, I think, or was it before? You have to press L2 to activate synergized
Yep.
attacks, and then you can press it again to deactivate. Uh,
Hmm.
so Yuffie's Art of War and Windstorm will change to synergized, and then, of course,
Right.
cost Sonon and Yuffie an ATB bar. So you have to balance
Hmm.
that. Do you want to use two ATB bars, in fact, or in effect,
Yep.
for this stronger attack, or do you want to have Sonon use something and Yuffie something else? What's also uh, quite interesting is that if you have synergized attacks, or if you are synergized with Sonon, his ATB bar will fill more slowly, so you can't just have it
Hmm.
active all the time. Well, you can, but it's detrimental. So they really made sure to make everything balanced and a risk and reward system like. So
Yeah.
it's really I think important to know when to synergize, when not to.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And I like that, if you are synergized, it's kind of you need to decide like, okay, which one am I using in this specific situation against this enemy and not just leave it on because it does drain your ATB. So it's kind of like, okay, you've used it, now I got to go back and do other things, gain that up again and then kind of use them again. I was confused because actually when I was looking at the menu, I thought that I could use any of them as synergized attacks. So I was like, wait, is there synergized ninjutsu? I was confused. I was like, what? What? So I thought that I was actually using it with like more, it was giving me more power, but it's not. It's just the top two abilities, the Art
Yeah,
of War
exactly.
and Whirlwind, I think. For now, anyway, I don't know.
I think there was something else with the synergize, but I forget. I think there was some other perk or some other little thing that changes when they're synergized, but I don't remember. I think there was something. But maybe I just didn't use it and forgot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So as for the story, I think it seems really engaging so far. I think I'm halfway through it. I'm stopped right now at a part, and I don't want to say it.
Yeah.
I'll say it later, but it's super annoying, and I'm mad. So I don't want to go on until I'm actually done that part. But we'll see what happens. I'm gonna play a little bit later tonight once we're done recording and see how that goes. But I do love these new characters, and I feel like they did a good job. There's some nuance there.
Yes.
They feel like they belong in this sect of Avalanche. They brought their own kind of character to these performances. I thought that the voice actors did a great job portraying these characters, and there's a lot of wit and humor there. They play off each other really well, and that helps it make it feel authentic and feel like they do belong in this world, And I believe it.
Mm.
Like as soon as I was playing it, I was just like, I love this. I just could
Yes.
I was just honestly smiling. I was so I just love going back to this world and also having the opportunity to play as Yuffie right now. And it just I was just so happy. And also the 60 FPS upgrade, can I just say it helps
It's awesome.
with the voice acting. It helps with the lips, like the character dialogue, the NPC dialogue when they're talking, like their lips just everything moves more fluidly and it looks like doesn't have as much of the issues Remake for PS4 had before the upgrade. Just I don't know. I don't know if it's just me or not, but it feels like the interactions are smoother and they don't seem as mechanical and strange. I don't know if you feel that as well, but anyway,
Could be, yeah, but maybe it's just they learned the tech a little bit more and refined it, and
maybe.
it's also pretty good. It looks good on 30 FPS, which I played on because I recorded my first playthrough as well and wanted the maximum um, fidelity for the image, so I used 30 FPS. But when I'm playing through on hard mode, I'm definitely playing with the 60 FPS for sure. Because Earlier
Okay.
today, I tried a few things out in Intergrade, like the main game, the upgraded one, and tried to find out what's the exact visual difference between 60 and 30 FPS. When you switch to 60 FPS, it's the resolution is like it also sends out a 4K signal, of course, but it's like maybe a 1440 scaled up or something. It's just a little bit less sharp. But as far as I can tell, the fidelity of the rendered images, the rendered elements is the same. Like the textures have the same resolution, everything's the same with the lighting and the effects. It's just the main resolution of the whole image, of the finished image, is different and just upscaled. I think that's the only
Interesting.
difference I can tell so far. I'd have to check a little bit more, but that's about what I can say so far. So if you don't really care about ultra sharpness, just play 60 FPS. It's way better. Just play for a few minutes on 60 FPS, switch back to 30, and your eyes will hurt a little bit when you swivel the camera around. So it's a huge difference.
I was actually thinking, I was like, who's playing this on graphics mode or whatever? Like, who's playing it on that mode? Because it is quite choppy. I don't know for you, but for me, like,
Yeah.
I have a big 4K TV and the refresh rate, it only goes up to a certain maximum. So, like, when I'm turning, it's really stuttery. Even more so than on my PS4. I don't know
Okay.
why that is, but I just feel like I can't play it on 30 FPS. I just can't. I've just been playing it on performance mode. And like you said, once you play it on 60 FPS and you go back,
Yeah.
it's I can't do it. I can't do it. But I'm okay with it being, not like 100%, 4K. I'm okay with that. But also my television has other options, so I could potentially, increase the sharpness or use super resolution. There's other options on my TV that
Oh,
will
I see.
help
Yeah.
the fidelity of the image using the television processor as opposed to using like the console, right?
Mm.
Anyway, I haven't played around with it, but my TV will also smooth the image like artificially, but I don't really want to do like I don't want it to do frame insertion to smooth
No,
it
don't do that.
because
It's
it
weird.
makes
Yeah.
things do yeah, it makes things all weird
Mm.
and other stuff. So I haven't tried messing around with my TV settings yet, but I'm happy with it. I think it's great and I feel like this game needed 60 FPS,
Oh, for sure. Yes.
especially in the battles and traversing as well, like throughout the environment and the game world. Like it's just, I don't know, it just makes it flow a lot better,
Yes.
and the NPCs move smoother and just their actions and stuff. But yeah, so I just a little bit about Yuffie. So I really think they nailed her as a character. I think that she's still as quirky as ever, and she does feel like a ninja, and but she still feels like a
Yeah.
child. Like she has that childlike innocence there.
Yeah.
She's just, I don't know, like she's just ready to just do it, Like she's just out there. She's putting herself out there. She also is kind of a show off a little
Oh,
bit,
yeah.
She wants that attention, but still she is a little not clueless, but she's a little I guess innocent, and she's a little naive, but also
Inexperienced also.
inexperienced, but also clumsy.
Yeah,
She's also a little
very.
clumsy. You know what
She
I
falls
mean?
down a
Like,
lot.
yeah, but she's just, I don't know. I love this character. I love this iteration of this character. And I feel they hit the nail on the head with Yuffie for Remake so far from what I've seen and what I've
Oh, definitely.
experienced playing through the game.
I'm so excited for her to meet the others. And I can feel her and Barrett just getting in each other's hair all the time. Like I
Yeah.
can already feel it in the air that there's something going on. Almost kind of like Wakan Riku in Final Fantasy X, but
Mm,
not
yeah.
that hostile, more like
Right.
yeah, a little bit because of Avalanche Wutai situation, but also because of their characters,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
how they react.
Absolutely.
I'm so looking forward to their banter.
Yeah. Sonan as a character as well, I think that he is I think that they have a good
Chemistry.
like they are depicting their a good chemistry exactly, and they're depicting their relationship together in a good
Yeah.
way, and it's really effective, and they're kind of joking with each other on occasion, and I just really like him as a character, and I think that he brings a different, I don't know, like a fresh element to this story that's taking
Oh, for
place
sure. Yeah.
in the DLC.
And also kind of a counterpoint or counter to Yuffie, or a foil, if
Yes.
like people like
Hmm.
to say, foil to her, because they're so different. He's older, more experienced, especially in life, and he's diligent and wants to do things right and correct and everything. And she just goes right into it, doesn't really think, boastful, and here I am, I'm the
Yeah.
best, and then just screws it up anyway, and he's like, "Oh god damn, what have I got myself into?" It's like that. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And in the trailers, you already get a little bit of that, because she gets into his face when he's late at the beginning,
Hmm.
but then later, after they beat the
Yes.
boss, they fist bump, and in the DLC itself, their relationship grows so well. It's really well made. It's
Hmm.
also subtle, like the banter in between, and at certain points, you really you see that there's growth in both,
Hmm.
without spoiling anything.
Yes, absolutely. And I just want to say, I wish that they actually turned the volume of his voice up because
Sometimes, yeah,
he's a
that's
little
true. Yeah,
quiet for me. I'm like playing and the music is playing, which I love. I had to turn down the music, the background music a
yeah.
little bit so I could actually hear him at full
Mm.
volume. And yes, he's behind me, but it's a little too quiet. I'm like, what is he saying? I have the
Yeah, he
subtitles.
has soft voice.
I
Yeah,
can read the what he's saying, but I just wish that he was a little louder. I don't know what that's about,
I don't
but
know either.
anyway, I don't know if it's just me,
Well,
but
I learned my lesson in the past, so if I can um, change the volume of music, sound effects, and voice individually, I turn down music by two, the VFX
okay.
or the SFX, the sound effects by one, and the voice at max.
Yeah.
And this usually works pretty well.
I think I have the music turned down. I think I have it turned down to 8. I
Yeah,
think the
same.
maximum is 10.
Yeah.
I think I turned it on 8 and I left the sound effects at the top, but I should probably turn them down as well. I might turn the music down even a little bit more, but I also don't want to miss listening to the
Yeah,
amazing
the music
soundtrack,
is
right?
so good.
So, yeah.
I love it.
So, anyway, I think that's it for me for my complete spoiler-free first impressions.
Yeah, do I have some other spoiler-free? I've written down like slight non-story spoilers, but that's for a little bit later. So let's see. Um, yeah, just go back to the combat. It's, if you compare it to the main game with
Mhm.
Cloud and Barret and the others, it's so smooth and everything flows from one to the other. Like those different
Yeah.
abilities, and there's
Mhm.
barely any downtime or like long animations that need to finish. There's so much
Yeah.
going on. There's also another ability they didn't show off, which also helps a lot and fixes air battles actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's I heard others talk about this as well, and they all think yet combat is really refined, so good, and air combat now actually works without jump button. And I
Mhm.
myself didn't feel it too much because I didn't use much air battles. Because I tend to just throw the shuriken and then use ninjutsu attacks mostly, and this works so well. But yeah, as we've seen in the trailers, you can just press triangle again, and then she will zoom to the enemy no matter
Yeah.
where it is, and this immediately initiates air combat or air combo. And if you don't finish the combo, you can do something else, sustain in air, and it's pretty cool, actually. If you know what you're doing, of course. And I don't. I'm just I just play. Which is why one of the battles proved pretty difficult. I had to repeat it
Yeah.
again. One of the boss battles, but it was a fun one still. I think this doesn't really. Oh no, I'll save. I think I'll save the rest for the semi spoilers because there are. The thing is, you never know who considers what a spoiler and who cares about knowing this
Exactly.
and that. So I think we should probably start going into the semi spoiler territory. Don't you think?
Yeah,
All right,
I agree.
good. So here's the last chance to step out if you haven't played it yet and don't want to get spoiled about anything beyond what's publicly shown. So go buy PS5, buy the game, and play it if you can. That is, and then come back to this point. All right, warning over. So, actually, it already has been shown in a trailer, but only by name. Ninja Cannonball. You can see it. Change the triangle button to Ninja Cannonball at some occasions, but they never talked about it anywhere, and you don't really see what it does in the trailer either. So that's why I thought I'll save it for now. And I personally didn't really use it, but Ninja Cannonball is actually a command material you equip, which which adds this additional triangle command. So you
Okay.
press. That's what I could glean from the trailer. You press R1, and then it changes to throw to Ninja Cannonball. And when you do this, you can initiate a combo attack with Sonon without using ATB. But I personally haven't used it yet, but there was just a small tutorial, I think, when I picked it up. But I didn't use it yet. But this makes sense
Hmm.
because in the trailer, I could see that it activates or it changes to Ninja Cannonball when she blocks. And then when she stops blocking, it disappears again. But they didn't use it, so it was impossible to guess what it actually was. And what I also really, really like, well, it's not quite a spoiler, but if you press block at the exact right time, like
Hmm.
just a few frames before it hits, it's a perfect block and you take no damage at all.
Oh.
Yeah, that's also pretty cool. I think this is innate from the beginning, from the start, which is actually really nice. Because then you don't just block and you actually try to trace and see and watch the enemies and then block when you're supposed to not take any damage at all.
Hmm.
And I think depending on what you upgraded in your weapon, you actually get a positive status effect like regen or barrier. It's
Yeah,
really I'd say almost the perfect addition to keep you engaged and actually
I
learn the
like that.
system. Yeah, that's really good.
I've had that where I have the one that gives you regen,
Yeah,
so
I had that too with the last boss. Yeah, and it helped a lot.
and you can do it multiple times. So
Oh
if you
yeah,
do
every
it
time.
again while regen is already on, it has a timer and then it goes away, but you can actually refresh that time. It
Yes.
just refreshes the timer if you do it again.
So if you
So
just keep blocking perfectly, you can just keep it up
yeah,
all the time. Yeah.
it's great. And then you don't have to waste time or MP like casting,
Yeah.
regen or cure or
Barriers,
other
whatever. Yeah, exactly.
things. Yeah, absolutely.
And if you don't need that, if you need ATB, you can use I think Burmal Dodge or Burmal whatever.
Yes.
It's an ability you learn from I think the second weapon you pick up.
Yeah, it's a boomerang.
Yeah, exactly, Boomerang, yeah. And if you execute it, she teleports a little bit, and if you
Mhm.
avoid an attack like this, you get tons of ATB. So in fact, if you do it right, you gain more ATB than you lose. It's actually pretty crazy.
That's
And
awesome.
what's also funny is when you do that and you do evade an attack, it says poof. A little text appears that says poof. It's really it fits Yuffie so well. It's great, even in gameplay.
I don't think I've done it successfully yet because I don't think I've seen that text.
Ah, I see. Yeah. No, I did it once and I thought, wait, what did it say? Did it say proof or something? And I checked again. Oh no, it says poof.
I used it multiple times just to get the 100%
Oh, I see.
proficiency
Yeah.
so I
Right.
could unlock it, but I
Yeah.
don't even know if I was actually dodging anything.
Yeah, it's hard to see, but if you gain ATB, you know you did it right.
Right.
So yeah, it's they introduced so many little more details that I'm so looking forward to part 2 because I really hope
Yeah.
that the other characters also get some neat updates in the battle system.
Yes. This has me confident
Yeah,
in us actually getting that and seeing it in part 2. Absolutely.
definitely, yeah. And of course, we already know Fort Condor is a thing, but basically there there were so many optional things in this DLC that you wouldn't believe. So, um in the preview, it also already got revealed that there's
Yes.
a hunt for the happy turtle flyers,
Mhm.
and I don't think you get much out of it. I think a few kill or something. Um, but this little side quest is actually pretty simple. You just run around, and when Yuffie tells you that her senses are tingling, and you know there's something nearby. But not only that, you also hear music, like
Yeah.
the tune of the happy turtle. And at every point there's a different type of genre, like a different version of the happy turtle song. Like one is like a dance disco thing, another time it's something else. There's even a metal version. It's so funny.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's really amazing. That's all still in the slum, so it's pretty much in the beginning. I did everything before Sonon showed up, so I did everything
Yeah, so did
solo.
I.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that too. I did everything solo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was busy doing the Fort Condor
Oh yeah, me too. I spent hours on that.
challenges. Yeah, doing it right away at the beginning before I
Yes.
even get started.
Yes, definitely.
Wow.
Well, after I got him, I could just breeze through the story and then finish chapter 1.
Mhm.
Kind
Same
of.
thing with me. I was like, "Oh, I guess I should probably go back to the hideout to get Sonnen."
Yeah. Should we talk about who we can challenge for Fort Condor's matches?
Hmm. I think that would be fine. Do you think this is too spoilery for people?
I'm not quite sure. Maybe the Grandmaster. Let's keep the Grandmaster mystery for now. But the others are all the usual suspects. Like the first one I encountered is the Shinra middle manager, who actually wants to like know how to let his daughter win to make her happy. It's just it's so fun. He doesn't really want to learn a mastery, but just know how to let his daughter win. It's kind of this
Wow.
weird goal. I don't know. It's yeah. He's wholesome.
Yeah, it's great that we keep seeing them pop up though. I
Yeah.
like that. They're not just it's not just like a random throwaway
Yeah,
character.
exactly. That they
It's
keep
the
coming
same
up.
guy.
And I really hope he also manages to leave Midgar and then we meet him at Junon or something, or in Calm even.
Yeah.
He needs to
Exactly.
reappear.
Exactly. Maybe he's at Costa del Sol and he's
All
doing
right,
like he's
yeah.
on
Yeah,
vacation.
with his family.
Yeah. They'll probably do something like that.
Yeah. They need to. They have to.
Yeah. I love that the NPCs are getting this attention.
Yeah. Also, Johnny got so much more attention as well, which is why he can also be challenged. He needs to. They even managed to weave his motivation for playing this game into the story because he's still in Sector 7 and needs to go. He wants to go to Wall Market, but needs money, and that's why he wants to beat the Grandmaster for the money, because you get, I think, 10,000 gil for it as well.
I don't
And
remember.
yeah, 10,000 gil and the materia. But that has already been revealed, I think, in the article. And in the article or the screenshots, it was also revealed that Kyrie is an opponent as well. And of course, she wants 3 gil for the first match and 10 gil for the second match, but I don't think it deducts any gil. At least it didn't tell me anything, and I also didn't check. And 3 or 10 gil doesn't really matter anyway.
Yeah, it does for the first one. I remember seeing it show up and say that there was 3. It's like you lost 3 gil.
Oh, it did. Okay, then I just missed it, I guess.
Yeah, I remember. I was like, what? Give me back that 3 gil.
No, I was like, I saw, yeah, I saw her, ran to her, and then she was playing play a game with me only for 3 gil. I was, screw you, and just ran away. I came to her back later.
Oh my god.
Now, Kyrie is, I love the character, but I also find her so annoying. Like,
yeah, she is annoying.
No, she's a fine character. Annoying that she may be. I think she's still well made, and I hope she will appear again, and that we see a different side of her as well.
Yeah.
Because in the I still need to read it. The Turk's side story. The kids are all right. I heard that she's way more nuanced in there. That we learn much more about her motivations and why she is like this, and where she's heading, like her actual arc and how she develops. Because this is the beginning of her arc, which we've seen here, where she still has a lot to learn. So yeah, and then those were the rank 1, and then you level up to rank 2, and then you can fight against or challenge Jessie, and wait for it, Roche, your friendly, annoying, cloud-obsessed biker soldier.
I love it.
And he's so, he's just exactly the same as you remember him. Just at the Pillar Plaza, just is there and screams away and waits for Cloud, and you can hear.
I love it.
You can hear NPCs say "stranger danger" around him, and yeah.
I love it.
It's so fun.
He's obsessed with Cloud.
Yeah. He really is, and he doesn't even know his name.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's good.
It's really good. It's really good. It's also fun when you talk to them before you rise to rank 2. They just don't want to have anything to do with you. Just come back when you're better. You're too low for me. Yeah. And then if you beat both, you can challenge Wedge. Wedge is pretty good, pretty formidable opponent, actually.
Yeah. I think I lost to him once, and then I had to redo my loadout.
Your setup,
a few
yeah,
times.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I lost like 3 or 4 times, but it was also pretty late, and I grew tired, so I just had to sleep it over, and then I beat him first try in the morning. So it was good. Yeah. And after that, there's the Grandmaster, and we'll leave this mystery for now and talk about this in our spoiler cast.
Yeah.
Whenever that will be.
I'm hoping that there's more to this later. I don't know. I'm only halfway through, guys, so I don't know. But anyways, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, there are a few more things that you will run into, which you'll think or you'll deem very interesting, curious.
Okay.
Like in general.
All right. Okay.
Well, it's always like this. Always in the, let's say, last quarter of a game, as especially Final Fantasy, the crazy stuff is happening.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh.
Yep, definitely. Um, yeah, we already talked a little bit about Polk and Billy Bob and
Hmm.
Neo and the rest. I think Polk and Billy Bob were a little bit underutilized, especially Billy Bob, because you can talk to him a little bit in the hideout, and then he talks to you at some other point, and then yeah, that's it. Polk at least introduces you to Fort Condor, and you can beat him a few times, and he says every time something different, like the first 3 times he loses.
Yeah.
But that's also quite it.
Yeah.
But still, I like the characters. They're really nice.
Yeah, I like them as well. I just think that I don't know how long this DLC is going to be. I don't think that they had a lot of time.
Yeah, that's
I feel
probably the
like they could
problem.
have given us more time and done more with these characters. I mean, like, given us more time to get to know them, and
Yeah,
I guess we'll find out anyway. I like I said, I'm not done yet,
yeah,
so.
definitely. I kind of have a feeling that they will appear in part 2, or at least in another part. Or at least I hope so, because they do have reason to appear again if you have finished the main game. And do we talk about the main game? I think so, because we've released 3 long episodes of spoiler casts and full spoilers about the main game, so I guess it's safe to talk about this. Um,
To talk about what?
Biggs.
Oh, yeah. I feel like, I mean, it's in the base game, so
Yeah.
yes.
All right. So if you've played the base game, you know it, or the main game. It's Biggs who survives. It's confirmed that he survives, and
Hmm.
if he survives and then gets in touch with the other Avalanche members, it's possible that they reconvene and we see them again sometime later in the future. Or at least that's what I'm
Oh,
hoping
okay.
for.
That would be cool.
Because they knew about Platefall, or at least Jujie knew about Platefall. I'm pretty sure all of them got out in time. So I'm pretty sure we'll see them again.
That would be awesome. I hope so. I
Yeah.
hope so. Just for continuity purposes, and just also just, not just creating these characters for this and then
Yeah, for one off.
they're just gone. Yeah.
Especially since there are so many parallels between those 3 and Nelly, Al, and Finn.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they just need to do something with that. It would be such a waste to just throw them in and, oh, hey, we're here as tutorial characters to explain some stuff, and then we're gone again.
Yeah.
At least Naya was there to get them the ID. So
Yes.
we ran towards the place to get the ID from someone else, because they parted with Jesse, and Jesse was apparently responsible for the fake IDs in the past. So they had to hire someone else to get the fake IDs for the train. And yeah, that's about it. Um, what I also really liked is the introduction of the Dachau beans. First, it's very funny. It sets the ninjas and the normal mortals apart, let's say.
Yeah.
And there's also more later about this, and it's woven into the story as well. But that's where I stop talking about the Dachau beans.
Okay. I haven't experienced anything about them later in the story yet. I'm not there yet,
Yeah,
but I'll
that's
just
why I
continue
don't
to.
want to talk anything about it.
I was just gonna say that they couldn't like chew them. I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, but
No, it's in the at the beginning where Yuffie meets the Avalanche members the first time. We see her handing out the beans in the trailer, and yeah,
I think that's it. I don't think it shows them try to eat them.
in the trailer no, but in the game it does, and it's funny.
Yeah.
And it comes up a few times, but it's funny to experience it yourself. So, and during the Happy Turtle quest, there's also a funny one with Marl and her dog,
Hmm.
and I'm glad they included her again. That we
Yeah.
know that at least she's there again and we can interact with
Yeah.
her.
It's great.
I won't spoil what they're actually doing, but it's kind of another small mini game, kinda, where
Yeah.
you have to get the flyer, and how you get the flyer is so fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I also liked her comments she made about
Yes.
Cloud as well.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's, she's been there and she's just talking about. I'm like, yes, this is great. I'm loving this right now. She's so sassy.
Yeah, she is, but also clumsy as well, all the time. And yeah, what I also found very interesting is that uh, Biggs was shown twice, but
Hmm.
Yuffie doesn't interact with Biggs yet.
Okay.
So it's possible that it's because Biggs survives and they have planned more for him and Yuffie and the gang, and when they meet eventually, I hope they meet, because otherwise it would be weird. And
Yes.
that's probably why they they've forgone a meeting between those two, because Jesse dies. Like I'd say 100%. I don't think there's any real
Oh,
evidence to
okay.
say otherwise. Wedge, we see him get thrown out of the window, but I'm always skeptical about those kinds of portrayal of death when we don't see a
Yeah.
body. So
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. But since they introduced Wedge again, or have had him interact with Yuffie, it's possible that he's gone, but I'm still holding off on that thought.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that's about it for spoiler-free stuff. There are a few things we could talk about, but that's chapter 2 and might give away things
Yeah.
not really story related, but still it's better to experience those things for yourself if you haven't played yet. I think spoiling a few non-story stuff from chapter 1 is not that much of a deal if you still if you're still here. But all I can say is that exploring chapter 2 is also very interesting. I really encourage you to look around everywhere, because you might see a few things you recognize.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you've been there yet. No, I'm not quite sure if it's
I don't
before or
think
after
so.
where you are right now. I think it's right after. Where you are in an area where you can just look around. There's a lot of stuff lying around, and
Yeah, I'm not there yet, I
yeah.
don't think.
But just have a look around, and you'll recognize a few
All right.
elements. It's pretty cool.
Okay. I
And
will do that. And then I'm excited to be able to talk to you on our complete spoiler
oh yeah,
cast episode
this will be so much fun, because there's so much to talk about.
when that actually
So
ends up
much.
releasing.
Yeah, definitely. And who knows, maybe we'll have a guest on when we do that. Maybe.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. And something else I can say is that playing through the DLC was really worth it. It's pretty much fulfilling if you've seen all the things, like if you finished it until the end.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's so much to talk about, and I just can't.
I know. Did you buy the Cackstar weapon?
For $10? No.
Really? I did.
You did? Okay. Is it worth
I
it?
did.
I have no idea if it's worth it.
I think that it's super cool.
Does
I
it have an
really,
ability?
yes,
Oh, okay.
it does. But can I talk about that, or is that a
Uh,
spoiler?
I don't know. For me, it's not. I'm pretty sure it's like 1,000 needles or something about of that. I don't know. Something needles.
it it no, it just runs around the battlefield.
Okay. What?
And I forget what it's called, but it runs around the battlefield and hits the enemy.
Oh,
And
I
it
see.
makes
Yeah.
them bounce, like flinch. Like they
Oh,
bounce
right,
up and
right.
down over and over and over and over again, so you can just pummel them with attacks.
Oh, kind of like if you hit the enemy with the weak spot, if you have, for example, fire
Yeah.
ninjutsu against a fire enemy or a fire susceptible
Yes.
enemy, and you can just juggle them in the air.
You just throw it, you throw it on the ground and it literally runs around like a cacti.
That's so funny. I need to
And
see
it
that.
just hits them. It
Yeah.
just hits them and they bounce a lot and it does damage, but mostly it's for disabling, so you can just
Oh,
like
I see.
pummel it
Yeah,
with
yeah.
damage. But oh my god, it's great. I don't know. It's just because it's a weapon.
Yeah.
It's not like a cacti like that you're summoning, so it's pretty interesting that it's a weapon running around like that.
Yeah. It has the spirit of a cactuar inside.
I don't even think I've used it on because I have it at like 100% proficiency, so
Yeah.
I don't know if I've used it on another weapon because I'm sure the other weapon would do the same thing,
Probably, yeah. Most likely.
right? But I
Yeah.
don't think I've used it since I've got it.
It's kind of like Barrett's melee weapons who can still shoot things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I think yeah, it's super cool. I think it looks really cool as well. I don't know if it was worth what I paid. I paid 13 something for it because
Yeah,
it's
that's about
Canadian,
it. Yeah,
so
I think that's if you convert to currency, it's about that. Yeah. For me, it's 10 Swiss francs around that. Yeah. Maybe 8 euros or
I'll tell
so.
you why. It's because I have points on this card that I use, and
Oh,
then
I see.
I trade that in for gift cards. So I think I had 3 gift cards to PSN, which was $30.
Yep.
So I just bought the DLC for 20, and then I bought
Oh, yeah.
the weapon for 10, 13. So I paid like maybe $5 out of pocket or something. So
That's
I didn't
fine.
care. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
going
fine.
all in.
Yeah,
Come on,
for sure.
guys.
By the way, I also bought the upgrade to the deluxe edition so that I can,
Oh, did you?
yeah,
Cool.
that I can have a look at the art book, the digital art book, and listen to a
Oh,
few
okay.
of the tracks. I think it has 12 tracks in it, all
Nice.
new tracks, and it's
I haven't done that yet, but I've contemplated it. I think it's another $26. I'm like,
yeah.
I'll just wait. Maybe once I get in a bunch of other points
Oh, for
that I
sure.
can
Yeah, you
use
can
to
wait.
trade in
That's
for another gift card, but
yeah,
we'll see.
definitely.
Um,
I just don't want to wait until the full soundtrack is out.
yes. Yeah.
And I think you can just listen to her field theme, her battle theme, um,
Mm-hmm.
the centipede guard. Or how's it called again?
Oh,
The
yeah. I don't know.
boss,
I forget. I forget.
centipede something. Um, this boss battle is in. It has a few from chapter 2. I think the metal version of the Happy Turtle is there as well, if I'm not quite mistaken. And a few others, and yeah, it's really good. I think it's worth the money, and also has a lot of good artworks in there.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, the navigation arrows left right are always visible. So if I record everything with my capture card and want to extract screenshots so that I have
Mm-hmm.
them locally, I'll always see those arrows on the sides, and this bothers me a
Oh.
little. Yeah. This fortunately wasn't the case for the main
Mm-hmm.
games deluxe edition, the art book, but oh well.
Yeah. That's strange.
Yeah. I don't think there will be an update to get rid of that.
No, I don't think
Maybe they
so.
made this on purpose so that people like me who will
Maybe.
extract everything all have those
Mm-hmm.
stupid arrows in there.
Yep, could be.
Yeah.
Also, I thought it was interesting that it says something about the mini map, but for me, there was no mini map in the
Uh,
game. Was there a mini map for you? Like, there's no mini map in the bottom right hand corner of my screen like there was when I played the PS4 version of the game.
there's at the top right. If you press L2, I think it switches between nothing, the compass thing at the top, the line,
Oh,
and the
okay.
minimap and in the top right corner. It's just the same. You have
Okay.
to just hit L2 a bunch of times and then see that it cycles through.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I did not do that. It just shows the line. There's a
Yeah, exactly.
line with the
That's
marker.
default. Yeah.
Yeah, I like having the mini map, but I was like, where is it? Like, what am I doing wrong? I mean, how quickly you just forget, right? I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
definitely.
I didn't finish my hard playthrough of the original, so I've had a little bit of time to forget
Mm.
everything. Like, I mean, the battle system, and I was rusty going into
Oh,
this,
same,
like I'm
yeah.
like, oh God, I have to relearn everything, and I didn't finish my hard playthrough, so I've been waiting for Intergrade to come out before I do that,
Right,
which
right,
I
yeah.
will be doing once I'm finished the DLC and I go back and I replay the DLC again. I'm gonna go back and replay Intergrade, and
Yep,
you know
same.
what? From what I've read and heard online, there are some things like differences,
Tiny
apparently.
differences, yeah.
Yeah, things that you're like, hmm,
Yep,
why did they do that?
yep.
Why did they do that? And then I saw Sleep Easy had posted a video, I think, talking about the differences and all this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, like I am so ready to go there, but I just need
Not
to
yet.
finish this first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can just imagine it's just gonna be like it's just gonna like, it's just gonna be crazy. I'm so excited.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So anything else that you want to add about your episode intermission, spoiler free impressions?
I don't think I can add anything else without spoiling. Well, I can say something because in one little clip in the I think it was in the article, which had a few small looping clips included, embedded in the
Right.
article. And in one, you see Yuffie running towards a black-robed man there.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think you can see him better in the preview, which I haven't watched.
Yeah.
And yeah, she has contact with those. It's not really that relevant, but I think it's relevant for part 2 or 3 that she
Oh,
already
okay.
knows that they exist.
Yes. I was gonna say it's interesting that they decided, like that was a
Yeah,
decision they made.
yeah,
They're
definitely.
like, we should put them in here.
Yeah,
They didn't have to, and
nope.
they chose to do that.
Mm,
So, and you do encounter them,
yes,
and you do like you notice that they're there. I don't think she knows what's going on with them. I don't think she knows what they are.
not quite. Although Nayo does tell Yuffie like the gist of it. I think uh was it in chapter 8 where you encounter number 2? I think uh Oates, the kid, says something
Okay.
about that he was a soldier at some point in the past. Mentions that, and Nayo mentions that as well. And then because yeah, it's Shinra's fault that they have Mako poisoning, and then Yuffie gets angry. Oh, them again! Ah, Shinra! So yeah,
Yeah, but I think it's interesting that they chose to include them absolutely, like you
yeah,
said, and I think that potentially could have like implications for part 2 for the story. So she knows of
yes,
them.
yes.
Um yeah. Yeah. And also, did you try to go in Seventh
I
Heaven?
was about to ask you the same. Yes, I did, of course, right away. It's the
We're
first
not
I
going to talk about what happens, but just putting it out there.
yeah,
I
just
did try and I was like,
if you played and
"Oh."
or if you played it and didn't try to enter Seventh Heaven, do it multiple times.
I'm like, "Oh."
Yes.
And also, later on,
Yeah.
you can hear things. I don't know if you heard them, but I'm hearing them. I'm hearing
Chapter
things.
8, chapter 1 still.
No, I'm in chapter 2 now. Remember? I
Yeah,
think I'm
I
halfway through chapter 2.
yes. Where do you mean? Maybe I just forgot. Um,
I don't think I can tell you.
yeah, it's
I'll tell you after the end when we're done
yes,
recording.
yes. You tell me after we stop recording. Definitely do that. Yeah.
uh, all right. I don't know if I have anything else to
No,
add.
because everything else will be a spoiler.
Yeah,
And I was even apprehensive to talk about the black robed
I
people
know.
because there
Yeah.
was something I wanted to talk about, something specific, but I'll save that for the spoiler cast.
All right. All right, guys. Well, I guess that concludes our complete spoiler-free first impressions of episode Intermission. So if you have any questions or any ideas for upcoming episodes, you can write us. Our email is thereunionpodcast@gmail.com. thereunionpodcast@gmail.com. We do have a Discord server. It's The Reunion Podcast, and the link for the Discord server is actually listed in the description of every episode. So you can just go ahead and join our Discord server to continue the conversation about Final Fantasy VII Remake and episode Intermission and Intergrade and all things Final Fantasy VII.
Yes.
All right, we do have a Twitter account. It's @reunion_podcast. And we do some incredible giveaways there, which we just did like two a few weeks ago. So just, you know what? Go ahead, follow us there for everything Final Fantasy VII and 7 Remake and some incredible giveaways. We do have a Facebook page. It's Reunion Podcast, and we do have a YouTube channel as well. It's The Reunion Podcast, and we do post our audio-only episodes on our YouTube channel. So hop on over to our YouTube channel, subscribe, like, follow, share, hit the notification bell at the bottom of the video if you want to be up to date on all things Final Fantasy VII and 7 Remake. All right, Vyzz, do you want to drop your socials?
Yeah, for sure. I don't have so many, but of course YouTube, it's Cosmo Canyon Observatory. And on the YouTube page and on every video page, there's also the link to our Discord server. And naturally, there's also a Twitter page. It's @cc_observatory. I was about to say _union. That's not the thing, I guess. So it's cc_observatory. And there hasn't been much posted lately, but as mentioned in the beginning, I'll try to resume posting more CCO gems, like mini analyses and some things I find. But yeah, I just need to get into the rhythm of things again.
Yeah, I hear you completely, 100%. All right, guys, and we do have an upcoming episode. It is being released on June 23rd. We do have the Avalanche HQ voice actors here with us. Daniel Ammerman, we've got David Goldstein, and we also have Griffin Poatsu, who will be joining us for our next episode. So you know what, guys? Be excited, because it's going to be amazing, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
Same. I'm also excited to talk to him.
All right, guys. So this is Kai. I am signing off. All the best to all of you.
Yeah. Stay safe and take care, everyone.
Bye.